In this video, I want to talk about why looks do in fact matter. And if you want to gain more success in your life, more strength in your social relationships, and not feel this lack of identity or lack of self-respect, I'm going to explain to you why it's so important that you focus on your looks. Now, I wanted to refrain from talking about such a superficial topic, but I think it's important. I think it's the difficult topics that really hold the most value. The topics that nobody wants to discuss because they're too scared to discuss it. So, what do I mean when I say looks matter? When I say looks matter, I mean how you present yourself, what you wear, your haircut, your appearance in terms of um, your mannerisms, like how you talk, your nonverbal communication. All of these things matter, especially when it comes to relationships, careers, and opportunities. And the reason why I say this is because, so I've been going to the gym for maybe 9 or 10 years now, completely, and I've had a majority of transformations from fat to thin to fat to thin to fat to muscular, then muscular to fat, and vice versa, and so on and so on. And I've seen a direct correlation in how I've been treated and how I've been respected once I've got into shape in comparison to me being a lot more fatter or a lot more skinnier. And I believe there might be two reasons for this. The first reason is once you can respect yourself because you look better, you start to display that internally. And as a result, you become more confident across to other people. So if you feel better in your own skin, you're going to treat people better because you actually like yourself. And I know that's a fact and I know that's true because whenever I've gone from muscular again back to fat, I don't like myself and then I treat people differently because of it. And I believe that could be the same thing, especially if you're going from fat to thin, because you have that negative self-criticism that's going on in your mind telling you that you need to be better or you shouldn't be speaking to other people unless you, I don't know, gain more muscle, gain more weight. And I know it sounds so superficial and so weird in a way, but there is such an element of truth behind it. As humans, we're so concerned about how we look and how we navigate ourselves throughout lives, depending on how we look at a current time. So whenever we don't look our best or don't look the way we think we should look, it begins to express itself in how we treat other people. And that's no more farther from the truth than anything else. I think another thing it does as well is that when people look at you and you look more muscular, you look more healthy, just healthy in general sometimes, especially not just down to your muscles or whatnot, but in terms of your style and how you might groom yourself, your hair, your teeth, you look more confident. You look like somebody that's more high in value, somebody that actually cares about how they present themselves. People like to be around people that care about themselves, and there's a reason why for that. People don't want to be around people that don't look like they like themselves, that don't look like they care about themselves. I think innately and subconsciously, we as humans know that who we hang around is who we become. And so, for example, if you had the opportunity to hang around a few millionaires, you're likely to take that over somebody that only smokes 600 packs of cigarettes a day. We love to be around people that are exciting. We love to be around people that look good and smell good. It's the reason why, you know, first looks and attraction is so important for many people. First impressions are so key. Whenever you go on a date, you try and look your best, you try and smell your best because people are attracted to people that are good looking. And whenever I've had any sort of, I say, quick success or easy conversation or whatever, it's simply because I've looked better and I've worked on my looks. And it's funny as well because I used to think about it quite often where I would say the shittest jokes. I would say the crappiest jokes. You could give me dad jokes. You could give me jokes that would like a child with a crayon could make up. But because I looked after myself, because I wore a decent perfume or because I got a decent haircut, those jokes were phenomenal for some reason. And I'm looking at it and I just think, wow, simply getting yourself in shape, simply looking good, simply smelling good is more than enough for people to be responsive to you. So if there's anything that you take away from this video today, is that don't believe what people say when they say looks don't matter. They don't, especially in terms of like mental aspects. So, for example, your resilience, your discipline, all this other stuff. But if you do want to have an edge over those that do have mental discipline and resilience, alongside having those two traits, maybe you should look in terms of improving your appearance. I don't know, getting more slimmer, getting more healthier, building more muscle, improving your style, figuring out a haircut that suits you, buying some jewelry, figuring out who you are and your identity, and crafting that to its maximum potential. And I guarantee you, once you do that, you start to see things shift and change in your life.